This is Rider University Television, bringing you Rider News 8, serving Rider University campus, Westminster Choir College, Lawrenceville, and Mercer County, bringing you the latest in news, weather, entertainment, and sports. Your Rider News 8 news team is Nicole Slater, news anchorwoman Jody Dorfloffer, international news correspondent Yuka Saka, Sports Corner with Dan Hacker, and your Rider News 8 weather with Charlie King. Rider University TV, bringing you what you need when you need it with Rider News 8.
Good evening and welcome to Rider News 8. It's Monday, October 30th, 1995. I'm Nicole Slater. In national news tonight, Republican sources say retired General Colin Powell has decided not to run for president in 1996. The sources say Powell has contacted close friends and associates to tell them that he will not run. The former Joint Chiefs chairman is expected to formally announce his decision tomorrow afternoon in Washington. Powell aides will not comment on his decision. Surveys have shown that if Powell had ran as Republican, he would pose a serious threat to Bob Dole. The polls also show Powell beating President Clinton. And in Sweetwater, Florida tonight, police say it's a case of Romeo and Juliet. Two young teenagers who had been forbidden from seeing each other are dead in an apparent double suicide. The bodies of 13-year-old Marilyn Flores and 14-year-old Christian Davis were found floating in a canal near their homes this evening. Family members told police that the teens had ran away from their homes early Sunday morning and both had left suicide notes. And in Albany, Georgia today, a twister ripped through the community, injuring at least 30 people. It tossed cars about, snapped trees, and even tore the roof off a grocery store in a neighborhood that is still trying to recover from last year's flooding. A city councilman says the tornado damaged at least 40 businesses and caused between $5 and $10 million worth of damages. Georgia's Governor, Zell Miller, has declared it a state of emergency. Now to Yuka for a look at the international news.
Hi, my name is Yuka, and in world news tonight, violence flared in Mexico as millions voted in election in 6 states and Mexico City. One man was killed and several people injured in a clash between rival parties. Search team in Nepal rescued 85 people trapped for 2 days by an avalanche near Mount Everest and dug out the bodies of 18 Japanese and Nepalese hikers. 7 others are still missing. Algeria mobbed consulates in France to cast absentee ballots in Thursday's presidential election in Poland and possibly civil war torn homeland. The election called by the military government is being boycotted by most opposition parties, and fighting continued as voting neared. 7 people were killed and 40 wounded in weekend violence. Sega Enterprise Limited of Japan, a maker of video games, said unconsolidated pre-tax profit for its first half ended September 30, slipped 32% to 11.04 billion yen, or $110 million from a year earlier. Earnings were hurt by a stronger yen and weak personal spending in Japan's debt economy. Rubbermaid Inc. of the US is ready to launch the first public tender takeover in Poland and possibly in Central Europe with a bid of about $16 million for Dunplast SA. Rubbermaid, a maker of plastic and rubber housewares, and Dunplast, declined to comment on terms until the transaction is complete. Rubbermaid is seeking 75% of Dunplast, Poland's largest maker of household plastic products. That was the international news. Back to Jody and Nicole.
On the local news tonight, diversity and unity is what the Multicultural Center is all about. The center has been providing a teaching and understanding of different cultures to Rider students for the past 4 years. Students can utilize the center for expanding of their own culture and different cultures, so pass by and admire the monthly displays the center provides. The Multicultural Center is located on the first floor of the Student Center and is open every weekday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and is always welcoming visitors. Rider recently held its annual career day to introduce students to some of the companies in the job market today. Some of the companies that were represented at the function were the Big Six accounting firms, Hilton Hotels, and Johnson & Johnson. The armed services and much more were there. Joyce Tyler, Associate Director of Career Placement, thought that this was a huge success. Rider University is currently being faced with another obstacle to overcome. Jen Venozzi has more on that story.
Wondering why this university looks so barren? Could it be that everyone went home for winter break? Nope. Rider University has had many problems in recent years with decreasing enrollment. Upon speaking with Dean Kelly of admissions, decreased enrollment was due to financial aid cuts, higher university standards, and a drop in the percentage of graduating high school students. To help amend the problem, the university has proposed campus beautification, the addition of the gazebo, and removal of the structure between the science and the business buildings. Until next semester, Rider University will be hard at work increasing enrollment. This is Jen Venozzi for Rider News.
Many students are experiencing a difficult time with course selection as in the past. Why? Perhaps it's because many classes are being offered at one specific time instead of more than one time period. So what can you do? You can take classes when they are offered, bring your concerns to the attention of the professor teaching the courses you are interested in, or your academic advisor, and perhaps even the dean of the school. It is also a good idea to mention it in the course evaluation sheet given at the end of each course. Rider students are getting together to work for a good cause during National Alcohol Awareness Week. Mothers Against Drunk Driving sponsored the event, which netted $800 for the organization. 150 people participated in the fundraiser, which President of Residence Hall Association hope will become an annual event.
This year's NJEA convention will be held in Atlantic City on November 9th and 10th. Members can enjoy programs and activities dealing with educational issues. Rider University students who are interested in attending can contact the Education Department if interested.
And winter break is just around the corner, and Rider has the perfect way for you to spend your time off. Rider University is offering two-week abroad trips during the month of January. One trip is to Athens and London. Those interested in this trip should contact Dr. Rice in the theater department. The other trip travels to the south of Spain. Those interested should contact Dr. Seldes in the political science department. Both trips have corresponding classes offered in the fall, although these classes are not required.
And only 1 year after construction, Rider's gazebo has been put through a lot of wear and tear. Lauren Warner has that story.
This is Lauren Warner from the Rider TV News. I'm standing here today in front of the gazebo, located on the south side of Centennial Lake. This gazebo was donated last year by the sophomore class to beautify and enhance the campus. Unfortunately, their dream was shattered. As you can see, the railing that was surrounded the lake is now gone, and inside there's graffiti. We tried to contact Tony Whalen, who was sophomore class president last year and in charge of getting the gazebo here. Unfortunately, he was unable for comments. This is Lauren Warner, Rider TV News.
In an effort to improve student safety at Rider, Rider's security department has a few tips to offer. Cipriana Shockley has more on that story.
At Rider University, women's safety is a big issue. After last year's stalking incidents, Rider Security installed a new escort service. At any time, day or night, students can call for an escort. Rider security officers Lieutenant Dipple and Senior Officer Harks told Rider News 8 that students should take this service seriously and not just use it as a Rider service. If you need an escort, call 896-5050. This has been Cipriana Shockley reporting for Rider News 8.
Dowley's Dining Hall may be the last place students will want to go for a meal. A Rider student claims she contacted the Lawrenceville Health Facilities Department after spotting 4 cockroaches within the last month in the dining hall. 2 cockroaches were seen creeping around the silverware, one underneath a chocolate milk dispenser, and another crawling in the Lucky Charms. Other students have come forward with similar complaints. Dowley's management is currently looking into the problem.
For those who are turned off by Daly's for some reason or another, the C-Store offers the perfect alternative. Jen Matasio has more on that story.
Rider C-Store offers students an option in dining. Students can choose from a wide variety of snacks and sandwiches that are made to order. Students may dine in or take it to go. The C-Store accepts cash and lunch money, which is an allotted sum of $125 a semester, and that's set on a student's ID. The C-Store is located across the streets from Switlick and Hill residence halls and is conveniently located next to Daly's and the Academic Annex. The C-Store also offers parking for residents who live in Poyta and Greek houses, and for those who feel it's just a little too far to walk. And remember, if you don't see what you want, you can mark it down on the comment card, and the C-Store will try to fulfill your request. This is Jennifer Matasio for the Rider News.
Rider held an open microphone night called Brown Water. Brown Water took place in the pub located in the Student Center. Coffee, otherwise known as brown water, was served to students instead of alcohol. The next show is scheduled for next Sunday at 9 p.m. The event gives all Rider students the opportunity to step on stage and perform. Another hidden treasure at Rider University has been found. Charlie Gallagher has that story.
Here at the Rider Game Room, the question being asked is, do the students take advantage of what the school has to offer? The game room has many new and up-to-date games, as well as 6 pool tables. As you can see, the number of students at the game room has declined due to the lack of publicity. If you have any ideas on what the game room staff can do to improve itself, please call Rider 8 News at 609-896-5335.
The pub isn't just for students 21 or older anymore. The pub has begun hosting weekly events for all ages. Events like Brown Water, which includes poetry readings and live acoustic music, as well as past events like United Nations Night and Rider Palooza. The pub offers a wide assortment of activities for every Rider student. But if you are 21 or older, don't worry, your pub night is still every Thursday. The pub is open every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. So come on out and see what all the talk is all about.
Thank you, Judy. Stay tuned for more local news, weather, and sports coming up after a word from our sponsor.
I'm an Australian kid. Being physically active is in my skin. There are days where it's more intense and there are days that it's less intense, but I'm always active. It's not a fad. I don't do it in order to keep in shape for business. I do it because it's part of me. I think in life it's really important to be a player and not a spectator. Sometimes it's difficult, but it's worth it.
ESPN2, people who do.
Mom, why don't you get us some more video games? Please, please, more video games. Please, please, more video games. Please, please, more video games.
They want video games, but for some odd reason, you don't want to go out. Now, through the miracle of cable TV, Sega Channel brings the games to you. Up to 50 games a month for less than 50 cents a day.
Thank you, Mother.
Sega Channel. Get hooked in.
This is ID Romeo 511 unknown.
Scramble. Lima Kilo 0102.
Active air scramble. Active air scramble. Lima Kilo 1, Lima Kilo 2.
250, flight number 390, Romeo Mission.
In the Air Force, it takes a special kind of training and dedication to make this happen. Find out how you can be part of it. Air Force, the first step to your future.
Rider began upgrading many other technological features and equipment. Today, there are new computers, phone systems, and more. Jeremy Hanna reports.
Rider University has taken a major step into the future with advancements in computer and phone technology. Students now have campus-wide access to the internet and the World Wide Web from their rooms or from any computer lab. Included in the upgrade is a new phone system which includes voicemail, conference calling, and individualized billing. Many students feel the biggest advantage to the new system is cable television with channels like MTV, ESPN, USA, and BET, just to mention a few. Overall, the students and administrators are pleased with Rider's new technology. This has been Jeremy Hanna for Rider News 8.
Communication majors at Rider will hopefully receive a pleasant surprise at the beginning of the spring semester with the proposed television studio move. The present studio will be moved to the Fine Arts Building on the second floor. Included in the move will be added space as well as the brand new digital editing system. A classroom will be wired for direct studio access for speech classes and any other classes needing studio equipment. University sources tell Rider News 8 that the completion of the studio will be over the winter break and be finished just in time for the semester. The new telephone system at Rider is definitely not all that it's cracked up to be. Students are reporting not only are they being charged to make local phone calls, they're even being charged for calls that they never even made. Although these are not the only problems with the phone system, it was reported that the phone lines were dead for 2 hours last week due to a computer malfunction. And for another 2 hours earlier this week while Bell Atlantic worked on the lines. Until these problems are smoothed out, it is important to carefully check your phone bill for any discrepancies. If you're looking for entertainment, Rider University's college radio station has a unique blend of today's hottest music and hip DJs. Yuka Sakio reports.
WRRC 107.7 is a Rider University's radio station. There are quite a few students who want to be a DJ every semester. This time I bumped into DJ Brandon at the station. He showed his performance over the air. He usually has a show by himself, but he has several friends with him today. Besides rotation, there are a lot of selections of CDs and records in library like this.
Rider's Greek system has experienced a new idea. First semester freshmen are now allowed to go through Rush. For many years it has been that you had to be a second semester freshman with a GPA of a 2.0. The Greeks seem to like that idea that freshmen are now able to become a part of their chapter. The annual Bid Day festivities started off with a bang today. Jeff Foraker has the story.
At Rider University, the Greek system looks highly upon Bid Day. It has been a tradition occurring since the 1970s. Each semester, a special afternoon is set aside for the Greeks, so Bid Day can occur. During Bid Day, all 8 social fraternities and sororities get the chance to present their new members to the Rider campus. The university also receives all of the required paperwork. The Greeks are very proud of this tradition and have assured the university that Bid Day will be a lasting tradition. This is Jeff Foraker reporting for Rider News 8.
The fraternities and sororities at Rider University have something to celebrate. Each chapter has just participated in the annual Sweetheart Night festivities. One person is chosen from each chapter to represent the chapter letters and attend any functions that occur within that house for the full year. The night begins when the members of a particular chapter get together and drive around past the other houses 3 times before they go and get their new sweethearts. However, members of that chapter do not know who will be chosen from the group of sweetheart nominees until the actual night. When the members pick up their new sweetheart, the celebration begins. Rider University has a new addition to their administration. Gina D'Amato is Rider's new Greek coordinator. Naomi Salad has that story.
Gina D'Amato is the new Greek coordinator at Rider University. I had a brief visit with her to get an idea of what her position entails. What kind of events do you oversee here at Rider?
I oversee all aspects of fraternity and sorority life. I advise the Panhellenic, the Interfraternity Council, the Minority Greek Council. I also work with the alumni office with BRUGAC, which is the Alumni Greek Council.
As I continued my conversation with Gina D'Amato, I got to see a very warm and friendly person as she discussed her most memorable experience at Rider.
Hands down, Bid Day. By far, I thought it was fantastic to see all of the Greeks come together to support one another. The amount of energy and enthusiasm. It was just a really emotional, great day. I had a ball.
Yeah, Greek unity at its best. How does Greek life at Rider compare to the other schools that you've worked at?
Greeks are different everywhere. I don't think any 2 campuses are the same. I think a lot of them face the same issues, whether it be low membership, alcohol abuse, low academics. Basically, each system is unique, has its own problems, its own ups and downs, and things that may have been problems at other universities aren't problems here and vice versa. So I think you just need to look at each system individually, just like you look at each chapter member individually.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Gina. It was nice chatting with you. I'm Naomi Salad reporting for Rider University News. Now back to you.
Alpha Xi Delta, one of Rider's sororities, participated in a 5-mile walk to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation today. The walk went through Mercer County Park and raised over $2,000. The Mercer County Make-A-Wish Foundation has received 2 wishes for young children with a terminal illness to fly to Disney World. And because of this walk, one of their wishes may come true.
To help make the most of your Halloween holiday, Rider University has just the place for purchasing your Halloween goodies. Mandy Scaglia has more on that story.
Halloween is already creeping up, and the Rider University store is the right place to shop for this occasion. Whether you're shopping for yourself or for someone else, the Rider store has everything from stuffed animals to cards and even candy for the trick-or-treaters. So don't delay a moment longer. The store is open Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 7, Friday, 8:30 to 4:45, Saturday, 10 to 4. It's located at the ground level of the Student Center. This is Amanda Sconer reporting for the Rider News.
And Halloween is the time of year for ghosts and goblins when trick-or-treaters take to the streets for candy. Shady Brook Farms in Newtown, Pennsylvania offers residents of neighboring communities a chance to get spooked during the holiday. Shady Brook hosts a haunted hayride and the House of Terrors. Families in school can take advantage of the event to bring the holiday to life. The hayride lasts for about 30 minutes and the hayride lasts about 30 minutes, and at the end, people can enjoy hot cider and folk music around a bonfire. And if shopping is your favorite pastime, you can visit the marketplace across the street for all your fall harvest and Halloween needs. And Halloween is a time for kids each year. Today there was a Halloween party for the Joyce Kilmer Elementary School for children in the Kavala Room in the Student Center. This is an annual event that was sponsored by Riders Greeks. Greeks also tutor the children through an adopt-a-school program. That about covers our local news for this evening. Now let's take a look and check out what's happening in the Sports Center with Dan Hacker.
Hi, welcome to Sports Center. This is Dan Hacker. The top story. Is it only me, or does it seem as though sports franchises are packing up and leaving the cities that they play in? Just yesterday, the Cleveland Browns had a press conference announcing that they may move to Baltimore. Also, the Houston Oilers may be set to move to Nashville as soon as 1998. In baseball, there are rumors that the Houston Astros may be moving to Virginia. Now I look at teams like the Boston Red Sox and the Chicago Cubs and wonder how their fans would react if they found out that their team was relocating. Cleveland Brown fans are already feeling betrayed. On the subject of football, let's go to the football scores. Okay, New Orleans over Indianapolis 20-13. Oakland beat the New York Giants 17-13. Buffalo over Atlanta 27-16. New England defeated Miami stunningly 34-17. Houston over Cincinnati 28-16. Seattle beat Jacksonville 34-7. St. Louis all over Carolina 35-10. Detroit 28, Tampa Bay 20. Green Bay over Chicago 28-21. Kansas City improves to 9-1 by beating San Diego, 24-7. And San Francisco demolishes Dallas 38-10. That's a stunning win. And in overtime, Minnesota beat Arizona 20-17. And finally, Philadelphia crushed Denver 31-13. In local football news, Pittsburgh Steelers fullback John L. Williams is questionable for next week's game against the Cleveland Browns. He has fluid backup on his surgically repaired right knee. He played against Chicago last Sunday, but gained only 13 yards on 4 carries and 17 yards on 4 receptions. Also questionable is fullback Bam Morris, who sat out the Bears game with a sore back. The Rider Bronx wrestling team will officially begin their 95-96 season with the annual East Stroudsburg Wrestling Tournament held at East Stroudsburg University. Last week, the Broncos wrestled against the South Korean team made up of national champions and prospective Olympic members, who defeated Rider 25-16 in the freestyle match. Head wrestling coach Gary Taylor vows to be back in the top 20 and win back the ECWA championship this season. Also in local sports, the Rider soccer team is off to a great start. With more on that story, let's go out to Bob Bonfante.
Mickey Sellers' goal at 38-31 in the first half would prove to be the game winner for the Bronx as it defeated the Terriers of St. Francis, New York 4-zip. Junior forward Matt Miles, seen here, explains the playoff situation which lies ahead in the final 2 weeks of the season.
We have to win 3 or 4. This is a very big game for us to win because St. Francis is almost tied with us. So if we win this game, we'll be 2-3, and if we don't, we'll be 1-4. So 2-3 is better because then they'll have 3 losses too. So we're looking good. So if we win 3 or 4, we're in the playoffs.
This is Bob Bonfanti reporting for Rider 8 News.
Thanks, Bob. Now let's check out the scores around the NBA. In New Jersey, Charlotte beat New Jersey 108-84. Indiana beat Cleveland 104-101. Sacramento over Philadelphia 109-106. Minnesota over Los Angeles 93-92. Phoenix beat New York 102-94. Dallas over Vancouver 99-88. Houston over Milwaukee 106-89. And Chicago over Toronto 117-108. Seattle over Los Angeles 127-108. Golden State over Denver 98-93. Sixers rookie Jerry Sackhouse gave his best performance this season during last night's game, scoring a season-high 34 points. But it wasn't enough to beat the Sacramento Kings. Neither team did well in the style category. Both teams combined for 70 personal fouls and 100 free throws. Sacramento's Mitch Richmond scored 23 points. The Sixers' next game is against the Hornets on Friday night. In tennis news, at the Advanta Championships in Philadelphia, second-seeded Conchita Martinez will play Natalie Tozia, and fifth-ranked Gabriela Sabatini will play Brenda Schultz-McCarthy tonight. Top-seeded Steffi Graf will have tonight off after beating Amy Frazier 2-6, 6-4, 6-2 yesterday in the second round. In other local college sports, the Rider field hockey team continues to be a dominating force on the field. Let's go to Bob Bonifante with more on that news.
Rider's field hockey team, which has posted a 6-13 record this year, hopes to make a comeback for next year's ECAC tournament. The team must hold a .500 record to qualify for next year. Head coach Tricia Carroll hopes to be strong next year with 11 returning starters. And sophomore Michelle West, the team's leading scorer, thinks the team will do much better next year.
Pretty good, just because our team doesn't really have to rebuild that much. Everyone has played together, and I just think we're a really good team.
This is Bob Bonfanti with Rider 8 News.
Thanks, Bob. Now let's look at the sports from around the NHL. Hartford over San Jose 7-2. Detroit over Edmonton 4-2. Vancouver over New York 5-2. Boston over Washington 4-3. Florida beat Philadelphia 4-2. And Toronto over Anaheim 6-3. And finally, Los Angeles over St. Louis 1-0. For the second time in 2 days, the Flyers lost to the Florida Panthers. The Flyers took a 4-2 loss last night in Miami. Panthers rookie Radek Dvorak knocked in his 5th and 6th goals of the season. The Panthers have won 4 straight and now have the best record in the league with 22 points. The loss denied Philadelphia coach Terry Murray his 200th career victory. And finally, golf fans will be able to catch one more women's event next year. The LPGA has added the Sacramento Classic, which will take place in April at the new 12 Bridges Club Golf Club. The event will be the 7th of 39 tour stops next year and will include $500,000 in prize money. Well, that's SportsCenter, and thank you very much. Now let's take it back to Nicole and Jody.
Coming up next, the 5-day forecast, your daily health check, and a look at the world in entertainment.
STM Robotics in Hamel provide computers and software to prominent corporations internationally. And we provide the same professional service to you at home or in business. Faxes, modems, networks, CD-ROMs, moldable hard drive, TV VCR boards, and more.
STM computers are fully upgradable, and when you need service or upgrading, it's done by STM in Hamilton, right where you bought it.
That's a claim appliance mail order and department stores can't make. STM Robotics and Computers, the area's largest computer superstore. 825 Route 33, Hamilton.
Giving has to be one of the very best feelings in the world.
Like eating ice cream right out of the carton, or being on the receiving end of an unexpected kiss, or smelling a freshly mown lawn. When you support our United Way and help people in our community who really need it, I guarantee that'll be a very good feeling too. And you won't even have to cut the grass to get it.
The world is waiting beyond the horizon. And every time you say goodbye, a new adventure begins. What will you discover when you reach your destination? What will you find when those wings bring you back to Earth? Because there are some surprises that you'd rather be prepared for, we bring you the Weather Channel. Weather you can always turn to.
Monday.
How about British stuff?
If it's Monday night, there's a Penguin on the telly. It's London Calling, kicking off our new primetime lineup. Catch 2 hours of Brits, Wits, and Twits every Monday night with London Underground, Monty Python, Whose Line Is It Anyway, and Absolutely Fabulous. Watch London Calling Monday nights from 8 to 10 at Comedy Central, the only all-comedy cable channel.
Welcome back to the Rider News. So how's the weather been?
The weather's been pretty good today. Here, come on, let's take a look at it.
Okay.
A quick weather bulletin from the National Weather Service today issued a tornado watch for the northern and central Florida areas. So if you're down there, take a couple of precautions and watch out for the weather. The record high set back today, according to the Rider News 8 Almanac, was set back in 1975 at 85 degrees. A beautiful day. And a record low was set back in 1990 at a brisk 10 degrees. Today, it was kind of clear, high in the 65s, lows in the 49s. Currently, the temperature right now is 58 degrees and the humidity is at 36%, with the barometric pressure reading at 29.99 and rising, and the northwest winds are coming at 12 miles per hour. Tonight, it should be mostly clear, cool, low in the cities at about 45 degrees, and a little bit cooler in the suburbs if you come back by 10 degrees at 35. You're going to need a blanket tonight when you sleep. Tomorrow it should be partly sunny, cool, high in the mid-60s. It should be nice, so tomorrow during the day, get out and see if you could look at some trees. Tomorrow night should be clear. Low in the city should be about 40 degrees and cooler in the suburbs by 10 degrees again at 30 degrees. So it's going to be a cool night. And tomorrow, the shore temperatures, if you're going to go down the shore, it's going to be partly sunny and windy, high in the 40s and lows in the 50s. Winds at 15 to 25 miles per hour. The water temperature right now currently is reading 53 degrees, so it'll be a little cold to go in. Tomorrow night at the shore should be partly cloudy. High temperature should be at low 30s, and winds should be brushing at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night at the shore, our 5-day extended forecast calls partly cloudy Tuesday at 60 degrees. Wednesday should be clear at 56. Thursday should be clear at a nice 61. Friday should be partly cloudy at 66 degrees. And Saturday should rain, and you'll see a lot of clouds at 65.
And in entertainment this evening, model actress Anna Nicole Smith is in the hospital in Los Angeles this evening. She's being treated for what her spokesman said is a bad reaction to drugs. He denies rumors that she overdosed on drugs and claims that Smith is suffering from a medical problem or which she has been taking prescription medication. A Los Angeles TV station says that Smith is in serious condition in the intensive care unit. Her doctor is expected to release more information later this evening. It's close to a done deal between Michael Jackson and the Sony Corporation. A published report says that the two will announce a $5 million agreement today. The Wall Street Journal says that Sony will combine its music publishing holdings with Jackson's. The singer will be paid an estimated $90 million. Jackson owns the music publishing rights to more than 250 Beatles songs. The new venture will not include Jackson's songs. Sony has declined to comment, and Jackson's spokesman says he knows nothing about it. Joe Clark quoted poets, presidents, and preachers to a packed auditorium at Rider University in Lawrenceville, New Jersey this afternoon. Clark's life was portrayed in the movie Lean on Me. He was inspired students to be the best that they can be and has given them the confidence to make a difference in life. Some say an elephant never forgets. Well, this is one elephant that Rider University in Lawrenceville will never forget. Rider's Fine Arts Department presents The Elephant Man, based on the life of the horribly deformed John Merrick. The play is directed by Patrick Kamel and features Kirk Sunday as the Elephant Man and Frank Saffioti as the doctor who discovers him. The performance will take place on November 10th, 11th, 17th, and 18th at 8 p.m. in the Fine Arts Theater. So spend an evening with the Elephant Man and the cast at Rider University. It is bound to be an evening that you will never forget.
And on Health Check this evening, you'll soon know where your bottled water comes from. The Food and Drug Administration says it will have rules implemented within the next 6 months requiring bottlers to disclose where they get their product. Spring water will really have to come from a spring, and mineral water must meet a minimum standard for the amount of minerals it contains. But the rules aren't being imposed on a resisting industry. The International Bottled Water Association, which represents 85% of the country's bottlers, asked the FDA to set some ground rules. A spokesman for the group says it raises the bar for the rest of the industry who are not members of the association. The group also says that Americans consume 2.7 billion gallons of water a year. And on a lighter note this evening, a Philadelphia police officer dressed as a clown managed to arrest 11 people on outstanding warrants last night. Police Chief Kenneth Smith tells the Philadelphia Inquirer that the ploy gets unsuspecting offenders to open their doors. Lieutenant Tom Sullivan says the suspects are pretty upset that the trick-or-treater carries a badge. One of the people arrested faces a firearm theft charge, while another is accused of smashing a car's windows with a child inside. Jode, can you believe that they can actually catch offenders this way?
I know. I heard that they even dress up as like pizza delivery men, and they can catch the people that way also.
You're kidding me. I've never even heard of it.
I don't know.
Well, that about does it for this evening's edition of Rider News 8. On behalf of myself, Jody, Yuka, Dan, and Charlie, we'd like to thank you for tuning in this evening and hope to see you tomorrow for another edition of Rider News 8.